Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Exposing the Narcissist. Before I begin, I just want to give a big shout out to my latest channel member, Nikki F. Thank you for joining and supporting my channel. I really do appreciate it. Okay, today's topic is one I touched on 2 years ago, but I wanted to revisit it and add some additional information that I am sure you wouldn't want to miss, so please stay with me until the end. Narcissists thrive on keeping secrets as it makes them feel powerful and in control. This is something I have talked about in this video where I gave a list of different secrets narcissists keep. But there is one secret that stands out above all the others as it affects everyone involved, and it is something that all narcissists are guilty of. We also know that narcissists live for their narcissistic supply, but what brings them more pleasure is when they have secret sources of supply, or in other words, being unfaithful or cheating on their partners. That is the creme de la creme of secrets for a narcissist. To give you an idea of what I will be talking about, I will be looking at a few reasons why narcissists cheat, who they are likely to have an affair with, how they behave when they are cheating, and how they react when they are caught. There are timestamps in the description box for anyone who wants to skip ahead. But first of all, some people limit infidelity to having sexual relations outside of a committed relationship, but it can also include being unfaithful on an emotional level. So although they may not have performed a sexual act, their words, feelings, and actions towards someone else are what would be deemed as a violation or an act of disloyalty. That is why I believe all narcissists are unfaithful to their partners, be it physically or emotionally. So first of all, let's look at the reasons why a narcissist would cheat. The first reason a narcissist cheat is because they respect no one. They will disown you when you are not around, and it is out of pure disrespect why a narcissist would flirt and lead on others into thinking they are available. Narcissists value no one, and that is why it is easy for them to turn their back on you, use you, and discard you. That is why it is easy for them to cheat on you. Narcissists also cheat because they are selfish. They do not care that they are being unfaithful. They do not care how their actions will affect their partner. They do not care that they are keeping secrets. All the narcissist cares about is that they are getting what they want and what makes them feel good. Another reason narcissists cheat is because they are greedy. They are never satisfied with the love and affection they receive. They are never satisfied with the sacrifices their partners make to make them happy. They are never satisfied with just one person. They will remain open for as many supplies they can get. The final reasons narcissists cheat is because they get bored easily. They get bored with their partners once they have secured them. They get bored being intimate with the same person. They get bored with what that person has to offer them. Narcissists like having a bit of a challenge, and finding and securing other sources of supply is the perfect challenge to keep them entertained and their supply bank full. When it comes to who the narcissist chooses as a secret supply, can be surprising, as many times the secret supply has nothing over their current partner and can be classed as a downgrade. This can leave some people scratching their heads, trying to figure out why the narcissist would cheat on them with such a person. But just know it has nothing to do with you. And if you want to know more about why a narcissist would downgrade, if this has happened to you, please see this video. Another favorite of the narcissist is to cheat with their exes. And not only do they cheat with their exes, but they would also leave their current partner to return to an old flame. It is also very common for narcissists to go after someone who is already taken or married, as narcissists like to take what belongs to others. Their envy is the root of their covetousness, and being able to have what belongs to someone else is more exciting to them. They also encourage attention from either sexes. So you can't think for a second that the narcissist is innocent when they claim to just be hanging out with the boys or the girls. Another thing I want to look at is how a narcissist behaves when they are cheating or wanting to cheat. One of the first things that tends to stand out when a narcissist has a secret supply is them putting that bit of extra effort into getting dressed or focusing more on their physique. They would start disappearing for hours, days, or weeks with the lamest excuses, or even refuse to give any explanation at all when they return. They also like to cause arguments and break up with you so that they can go and have sexual relations with someone else. It is done this way so that if it ever comes to light, they can justify it by saying that you were not together at the time, or you had upset and disappointed them so much, and this person was there to comfort them, etc. But it was all a part of the narcissist's plan to use the opportunity to be unfaithful without concern, as they already knew how they would justify their actions. Which takes me into the final thing I want to talk about, which is how the narcissist reacts when they are found out. What is expected is that the narcissist will try and justify their actions. They would try and convince you that what they did was not wrong, and they would try to distance what they did from what it really is. So instead of admitting that they cheated or had sexual relations with someone else, they would refer to it as an entanglement or a situationship that only happened because you were making their life miserable. When you call the narcissist out for the cheater and liar that they are, it angers them because they don't want to be thought of that way. They prefer to try and gaslight us into accepting or condoning their evil behaviors and blame ourselves for their bad actions. And that is the ultimate dagger to the heart, because not only do they cheat, but they blame you for making them cheat. They would accuse you of not listening to them or caring for them enough. They would accuse you of being selfish and not loving them enough. But it is important to understand that when a narcissist cheats, it usually has nothing to do with their current partner, but everything to do with the narcissist. Their selfish, greedy nature and the fact they get bored easily drives them to seek out other sources of supply. It can be a complete stranger to your best friend or a family member. Narcissists are crude, self-serving predators who live multiple lives in a bid to juggle as many of their supplies as they can. But to conclude, narcissists will cheat on their partners, and some may never get discovered as they are so good at it. It is a must for the narcissist to have a secret supply, and it is a must for us not to tolerate their shady, selfish behaviors. As always, I hope this was beneficial. Please share your thoughts and experiences below. Many thanks for listening.